Welcome everybody to RoboMania 5. This is going to be a crazy event. We got 16 fights lined up for everybody today, and I think it's going to be one of the better cards in RoboMania so far. So without further ado guys, let's jump into the episode, but first I still want to go over a little bit of a little talk about everything real fast. So with that being said, let's go over what happened in the early prelims today. As you can see, there were 6 winners in those bouts. Already 6 fights have already happened, which means Bella, Stormageddon, I have 3 spinners, Foxtrot, a heap of games, and Godsticks 2 all won. Best fights going for a heap of games and King Krabby, and the best finish going to Foxtrot. Those are some crazy fights. If you guys haven't seen them already, I'd recommend go checking them out. That episode was released a few hours before this one because this is the main event. So without further ado, let's go over the top 30 that have changed from last episode going into this one. The big changes that I've noticed so far are that Coal Miner reached the top 5. Coal Miner is in the top 5 now. That's a pretty crazy jump. As you can see, a lot has changed. The green arrows represent them going up in the rankings, and the red arrows meaning them going down in the rankings. So with that being said, every episode there is going to be a new ranking system, and it's going to change after every episode. So at the beginning of a main card, you guys will see the new rankings and everything like that. It might change over time, but who knows what's going to happen so far. I'm still trying to edit all of this together exactly how I want it to, and of course as much feedback as you guys would like to put down. I saw there was a little bit of confusion in the first episode, and I'm gonna try to make it a little more pretty, a little more detailed, I guess, in the edits. So I hope you guys enjoy it this time through. Next episode is gonna be even better. I've figured out a few editing styles that I should change for the next episode. So everything like that. I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's actually take a look real fast at the robots that are fighting right now in the top 30. As you can see, they've just been underlined: Emergency, Boxer, Stinger, Spyder, SuperSonic, Chappy, Sharpener, DoomsDay, ReptoDeath, BioStorm, and White Widow are all fighting today, and this should be a pretty interesting card, everybody. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy these next 10 fights. Like I said, write it down in the comments below, anything that you guys want to see that could be changed in the near future, or anything that you just like to see new or differently. All comments are appreciated, of course, and without further ado guys, let's jump into the fights. Hey, okay guys, we are here, we're square, and we're ready for the first bout in today's main event and prelims. Let's jump into our first fight. This is Butcher going up against the 0-1 Slasher. This should be a pretty interesting fight where we have the debut of Butcher, and here we go. Slasher immediately gets bombarded by Butcher, and Butcher's trying to get that side attack. The Butcher's weapons are very interesting. It's a Ripper design in Robot Arena. It's one of the deadliest, so I'm trying not to have a lot in the tournament, but we're gonna see. There's some damage happening to the back of Slasher, and there's a big hit getting underneath Slasher, and now Slasher's on its side. There's some big damage, and that'll do it. That'll freaking do it. Just like that, Slasher gets dominated by Butcher. Butcher instantly gets a win, and as you can see, just gets right underneath Slasher, does a lot of damage. And here we go for our next fight in the prelims. We got Dr. Puncture going up against the Penetrator number 2. Now both these robots have lost their debut fights and are trying to get a redemption fight against each other. Only one robot can walk out on top, and this is going to be a pretty interesting fight. We got a spinner going up against a poker, as a lot of people call it. Let's see how this one turns out. My bet honestly is on the spinner, but who knows what's going to happen. Dr. Puncture immediately tries to get some damage on the front of the penetrator, and there's a little bit of damage dealt to the front, and it's just trying to poke it right now. I don't think that's doing any damage, but the poker falls right off of the penetrator too, and now it has no weapons. I don't know what it's going to try to do at this point, but it's going to have to hope for the hazards. it's going to have to survive 30 more seconds against a spinner robot with no defense or a weapon. So this is going to be interesting. It's backing up. Dr. Puncture tries to stay in front of it. It's trying to square up against the robot, but it's kind of just backing up with the penetrator right now. And there's a big hit from Dr. Puncture, and there's another big hit, and I think that one's it. Dr. Puncture defeats the penetrator 2 by KO. Wow, what an interesting fight. As you can see right here, Dr. Puncture takes that big hit, and it keeps hitting, and there goes the poker, which pretty much changed the whole atmosphere of the fight. The penetrator just kept backing up from there, and there's the final blow by Dr. Puncture. And here we go for our third fight in the prelims. We got Sentinel going up against Forky. Both robots unranked, both robots 1-1. Sentinel has been here since Season 1, only has fought twice. Forky since Season 3 has also only fought twice. Both these robots are flippers, so this is going to be a pretty interesting bout that we're going to watch. Sentinel backs up immediately, and Forky gets a good little bit of pressure and flips over Sentinel. From right off the bat, Sentinel gets flipped on its back, and once it's up against the wall right now. Oh my goodness. Oh, no robot wants to be in that predicament, going up against the wall of the spinning hazard. While Forky's just trying to keep constant pressure, Sentinel's just trying to survive right now. It doesn't really know what to do. Both these robots don't have any weapons, minus Forky's little poker in the front underneath its flippers. This is going to be a pretty flippy fight for a bit. My guess is it's going to either go to a decision or it's going to go to a technical knockout, which will both be interesting. Forky is trying to flip over Sentinel right now, but Sentinel has those 4 wheels, which keeps it balanced. Both robots, if they get flipped, I'm going to say it's game over for both of them. So whoever flips the other robot first is going to be the winner. And Sentinel's on its back right there. Sentinel gets flipped on its back, pushed up against the wall, and now it's on its butt right there. It's sitting upright. I don't think it can move like that, to be honest. Forky's pushing against the wall, and Sentinel is just trying to move at this point, but I don't think it can. They're both sliding a little bit to the right, which might help Sentinel out. Forky back up, actually, and Sentinel is trying to move with its flipper, but I think it's stuck right now. We got a couple seconds to determine whether it's knocked out, and it is. Technical knockout win goes to Forky. What a crazy fight right there. Forky immediately from the start just tried to put as much pressure on Sentinel, and it just stayed aggressive, flipping it a couple times throughout the match. Forky just kept pushing it. Here's a really good flip, pushing it up against the wall on its butt, and then right here is my favorite part, pushes it against the wall, backs up, and watches Sentinel lose. And here we go for our last prelim fight. We got Sharpener going up against White Widow, a number 23 versus 16 seed robot. This is going to be a very interesting fight. Both of these robots, let me just tell you, are really slow. So this is going to be a slow start in my opinion, but I have no idea how this is going to go. Let's see how it happens. Sharpener versus White Widow. Both robots, as you can see, very freaking slow. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a judge's decision if they don't even touch each other the whole fight. But that would be a pretty boring fight, and I doubt it would even make it on this card. But let's see what happens. Both robots are backing up once more. Yeah, nothing crazy's happening right now. Oh, here goes White Widow. Oh, yeah, they did it. Okay, they're touching each other now. There's actually a lot of damage happening to the right side of Sharpener. It actually lost one of its weapons. It has 4 weapons altogether, and White Widow has 6 altogether. 2 of them being kind of a defensive kind of whacker. But both of these robots are weighed down completely by their weapons. So this is pretty much a heavyweight fight. There goes another weapon off of Sharpener. And right now it looks like White Widow is in control. And it's getting behind Sharpener, raining down those axes. Those axes are so beautiful, watching them all come down onto a robot. It's so deadly. Really freaking deadly, actually. Sharpener's just trying to turn around right now. Like I said, gonna be a really weird fight with how slow the robots are. But there goes one of the right weapon of White Widow. And White Widow's weapons seem to be stuck downwards right now. I don't think they could raise it anymore. Sharpener's trying to get that side hit. Can it get it? It's getting a few hits on the side of White Widow. There we go. A little bit of dentage on the side, right side of White Widow's chassis. This could be a good fight now, actually. White Widow is, I'm surprised White Widow ran out of juice already. It doesn't have enough power to raise up those axes that it has. It has 3 axes remaining and 2 defensive weapons. Sharpener has 2 pickaxes still, but both robots just seem to not know where they are. Sharpener comes into the right side of White Widow and completely misses. Wow, that was really stupid. The center blade has been released. We are 43 seconds remaining in the fight right now. So it looks like this one might go to a judge's decision unless something crazy happens. And from the looks of it right now, I'm not 100% sure anything crazy will happen. Sharpener's missing every shot right now. It's hitting the broken axe of White Widow that's already broken off. That's what its main target is right now. Sharpener's on the right side of White Widow now, doing a lot of damage actually. Exposed a little bit of a wheel. Oh, this is getting interesting with 10 seconds remaining in the fight. Sharpener's trying to finish it strong, maybe get the knockout right before the buzzer. And 5 seconds left. I don't think it's going to finish it, but it's going to go to a judge's decision. And that was a pretty interesting end right there. My guess, oh goodness, what a weird fight. Both robots started out really slow. I'm saying Sharpener is going to win this one, but I'm not any of the judges, so I don't really have a word. There's the first hit from White Widow that knocked off a couple of the weapons from Sharpener. And Sharpener kept getting those good side hits on the right side, right chassis of White Widow. As you can see, there's a little bit of dentage going on. A couple big hits right there. That was the most significant part of the fight, in my opinion. And it did it later on with 20 seconds remaining in the fight. I think this one's going to go to Sharpener. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look at these judges' decisions right here. Sharpener wins it 29-28. All 3 judges voted in favor of Sharpener. What a crazy fight, guys. And here we go in the first bout of the main card. We got the number 12 Chappy going up against the number 11 Backyard Spinner. Ripper, I'm sorry, it's not Spinner. You know what I mean. But these robots are pretty crazy. Chappy has been a fan favorite for a while now. Cinderella story, of course. This is going to be a good fight. Here we go. Chappy versus Backyard Ripper. Backyard Ripper instantly gets Chappy pushed up against its spinning disc, but it's not really spinning a lot. Here we go. It starts to spin up a bit. Chappy's almost getting flipped over. Chappy is a small design. Now this robot, like I said, has had a crazy Cinderella story for a while. If it gets flipped, it doesn't work, and speak of the devil, it gets flipped. Chappy is not invertible. Therefore, I think that might be the end unless Backyard Ripper somehow flips over Chappy once more. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. Backyard Ripper is pushing Chappy's body pretty much up against the spinning disc wall. Hasn't been released. We got 15 seconds till that gets released. Now there's a little bit of dentage on the, I believe that's the right side of Chappy. It's upside down, so I had to do a little bit of math. Alright, so Backyard Ripper backs up, and there's a huge dent on the right side of Chappy. And there goes the spinning disc. Can Chappy get pushed into it? Maybe get flipped over? Into the spinning disc. Oh, a big dent on the left side now. Chappy gets hit once more by the spinning disc. Wow. Backyard Ripper's putting up a lot of pressure against Chappy. Chappy's upside down. It can't do a lot of damage, unfortunately. So this one's not looking good for Chappy, unfortunately. But for Backyard Ripper, it's making a huge statement in this tournament. Backyard Ripper's pushing it up against the flipper, which will be activated in 30 seconds. And Chappy's just not looking like it once did before in Season 3. There's a big hit from Backyard Ripper. Oh no, Chappy's getting abused right now. And I think this one is just about over. Unless Chappy gets flipped upside down once more, I don't think it can. There's the final blow. Backyard Ripper wins over Chappy by knockout. Let's take a look at some of these replays. Backyard Ripper was pretty much in control this whole fight. I don't think there was a second where Chappy was in control. Getting pushed up against the spinning disc, just getting flipped over, everything like that. Chappy, what has happened to you? And here is one of the final blows by Backyard Ripper on Chappy. It wasn't a significant blow, but it did a lot of damage to Chappy's chassis. You know what I mean. Yeah. And for our next fight, we got ReptoDeath going up against Cyclops. This is a good fight right here, ladies and gentlemen. We got the 21 ReptoDeath going up against the 6 Cyclops. Both these robots are pretty big. They're debatably the biggest robots in the whole league, in all of RoboMania. As you can see, these robots are huge compared to one another. Let's let this big heavyweight battle begin. Cyclops has that big spinner, and ReptoDeath has that crazy axe weapon. It's just going to come down to who can hit the other robot the most, pretty much. And it looks like ReptoDeath is doing quite a bit of damage. A little bit of its armor fell off of ReptoDeath, but nothing too significant. While Cyclops is actually getting hit on the chassis on the front side by ReptoDeath's long swinging axe. Oh, there goes off one of the protective barriers of Cyclops, and that protects the wheel. So if that gets hit once more, it's probably fallen off, and Cyclops can't even drive if one of its wheels is gone. ReptoDeath doing more damage to the front chassis of Cyclops. Cyclops is one of my personal favorite robots for some reason. I don't know why. It's just a crazy big weapon. I love big weapons in this game. It's beautiful. There's a big hit by Cyclops on the back of ReptoDeath. ReptoDeath is getting really close to that spinning disc. Oh, it's getting really close. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. ReptoDeath avoids the spinner, and Cyclops just drives right on top of it, losing a wheel, and is pushed up against the wall. I don't think it can move. I think ReptoDeath just won right there. ReptoDeath is backing off while Cyclops is getting counted out. What a fight. What an end to that crazy fight right there. Cyclops loses by TKO right there, and ReptoDeath wins. Wow, what a crazy fight. That was pretty interesting in my opinion. ReptoDeath, in my opinion, was leading that whole fight. Cyclops had a few good hits. As you can see, there's a little bit of the armor flying off, but ReptoDeath just kept the pressure, kept its axe swinging, and Cyclops couldn't really connect anything from there. And this last hit against the spinner was absolutely devastating for Cyclops. It got hit up, ReptoDeath pushed it against the wall, and its big weapon got stuck on the wall. And for our fourth fight of the main card, we got BioStorm going up against SuperSonic. This is going to be an interesting fight. We got a flipper going up against a multi-spinner. Both these robots are very, very intense. SuperSonic is the highlight of this series in my opinion. It is the most deadly robot. It definitely shreds robots apart. But here we go. BioStorm is actually smacking the top of SuperSonic right from the get-go, and it's actually doing a lot of damage. The good thing about those spinners, or the flippers of BioStorm, are that they can actually cause quite a bit of damage to the other opponent. SuperSonic, of course, just causes a lot of damage. There's dents in both of these robots right now. I would say this is even right now. It looks like BioStorm is landing more hits, but SuperSonic is crushing the front of BioStorm. BioStorm keeps smacking the top of SuperSonic right now. Keep smacking. There's a huge dent in the top of SuperSonic. BioStorm, that's its one weapon right now. I don't think it's trying to flip. I think it's just trying to smack it. I mean, if it works, it works, but I won't judge it. It's originally a flipper robot. But if it wants to smack down on robots, I mean, that's cool too. SuperSonic doesn't really know what to do. It has to get its spinners activated, and it looks like it backed up. Here we go. Now it looks like the spinners were once activated, but there goes one of the flippers, or I guess the axe weapons now, of BioStorm. So now it only has one axe. I'm going to put that in quotes, axe remaining. And it backs up. Here we go. The spinners started for a second. There's a little bit of damage done to BioStorm's chassis, as you can see with that little electric shock. That shows how much damage is remaining. 3 of those and the robot is dead. SuperSonic is getting pushed up against the wall right now, it looks like. BioStorm has been the aggressor of this fight so far. SuperSonic hasn't really been able to get its spinners up to speed or anything like that. BioStorm backs up, SuperSonic pushes, and that was the final blow right there. SuperSonic, winner by knockout. Wow, what a crazy fight. As you can see, in my opinion, BioStorm was winning that whole entire fight. It didn't matter how much damage was being done. It landed so many hits. And as you can see right here, there goes one of the flippers or the axe of BioStorm, and that pretty much changed the whole entire fight. SuperSonic knew that it could win from there, and there it lays the final blow. And here we go for the third fight of the main card. We got the number 17 DoomsDay going up against the number 4 Stinger. Now, a little fun fact for you guys right now. Stinger is one of the only robots in the top 15 that hasn't been KO'd yet, meaning it hasn't been knocked out. It's still undefeated pretty much. It's lost by a TKO. Here we go. DoomsDay has actually got pushing Stinger against the wall. Both these robots are axe robots, and they're pretty deadly, to be honest. DoomsDay got a little upgrade over the off season of RoboMania, and it got more speed added to it, and it actually gets flipped over. Stinger can now do some attacks, but it's not even swinging its axe right now. It could do a lot of damage right now to the bottom chassis of DoomsDay. Now it's attacking, going for the wheels, it looks like. It does 2 shots and then gives up. DoomsDay's trying to flip himself back over. Oh, there's a good hit from Stinger. Stinger is doing a lot of damage to the top chassis of DoomsDay. There's a huge dent in the back side, but now there's smoke emitting from Stinger. This is going to be a good fight, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Stinger is a really good robot, and DoomsDay is a deadly robot. You can't count Stinger out. You can't count DoomsDay out. I think a wheel is missing from somebody. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's so much things gone. Okay, so one of the weapons from DoomsDay has fallen off. One of the wheels from DoomsDay has fallen off, and half of the weapon from Stinger has fallen off, all in one little shot. That was crazy. So Stinger now has half of a weapon. It's definitely, its range is not as good anymore. DoomsDay has half of its weapon, and DoomsDay just got flipped over. DoomsDay is trying to survive this right now. I don't know what's gonna happen from here. This is a crazy fight. We got a minute 30 left in this fight right here. Stinger's trying to get over the debris of DoomsDay's remains, I guess. Has 3 wheels. What a crazy little fight right here. DoomsDay's pushing Stinger, and now Stinger's on the attack. DoomsDay gets really close to the spinning disc, barely misses it, and now they are going head to head against each other. Stinger's trying to get that wheel. It's hitting the wheel. Oh, it flips itself over. Stinger flips itself over. It cannot self-right without that other weapon. And now DoomsDay's just doing little dinky hits on it. Oh goodness, I think that might do it. Stinger flips itself over with its small weapon. DoomsDay backs up, almost gets on that flipper. Almost hits that flipper, but Stinger is immobile and leads to a technical knockout. DoomsDay, winner by TKO. What a crazy freaking fight right there. That had to be fight of the night on this card. As you can see from the very start, DoomsDay pushes Stinger against that wall. That was a really beautiful hit, actually. And both these robots just like lost all of their weapons, wheels, and everything all at once, pretty much. As you can see, there goes the wheel, there goes half of the weapon, and there goes the other weapon of DoomsDay. And right here, I think this is where Stinger flips itself over. Right there, boom. Stinger immobilizes itself. And now for our co-main event of the evening, we got Fish Power going up against the Boxer. These robots are pretty crazy. Fish Power was one of the finalists in Banter Wars, while the Boxer, you guys all know him, is leading the knockout ratio of RoboMania history. So here we go, Fish Power versus the Boxer. I think the Boxer is going to dominate this fight, but if Fish Power flips it over, it might be GG for Fish Power. There's a big hit to the left side of Fish Power. If it can knock out one of those flippers, that'll do it. There goes one of the flippers, and then Fish Power flips over the Boxer, just like that, with one of its flippers. And now the Boxer, it can't do anything. Oh goodness, oh goodness. Can this be one of the biggest upsets so far? Fish Power versus the Boxer. What? No way Fish Power can do this. This is all leading up for our next event, by the way, our next fight, which is Spyder versus EMERGNECY. That is going to be a crazy fight. But right now, we got the Boxer and Fish Power, and Fish Power is pulling off some magic right now. Pulling some things out of its arm, out of its flipper arm. I don't really know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. Fish Power is winning. Fish Power backs up, goes back in. What a hit. Not really, but it was crazy. Fish Power is just trying to push it at this point. And I think the Boxer's getting counted out. Oh no. The Boxer has to do something right now in order to win this. In order to stay alive, and it doesn't. Fish Power pulls off the freaking upset over the Boxer. Over the number 3 ranked robot. Fish Power is going to be moving up in the rankings a lot. And here we go. As you can see, it pushes off as one of its flippers and then gets flipped in the process. Fish Power, with one flipper, flips over the Boxer. It's not a really big robot, but it leaves it to get counted out. Wow, what a crazy fight. Fish Power wins by TKO. We're about to see 2 of the best flipping robots go head to head against each other. Spyder, one of the most intense robots I have seen so far. Emergency is the most complete robot in RoboMania. And for our main event of the evening, we got the number 7 Spyder going up against the number 2 Emergency. Emergency leads RoboMania history by TKOs, while Spyder got a redesign, so it's a new looking robot. It's looking to make some damage happen to the robot. It actually has a spinner now, and here we go. It flips over Emergency right from the beginning. Emergency is on its side from the very beginning, 10 seconds in, and it's already on its side. Emergency's trying to get back upright and flips on its back just like that. Spyder is pushing it now, helping it out a bit, and Emergency is back upright. Emergency's trying really hard, as you can see. It's Spyder. I think Spyder's one of the best designed robots in this whole RoboMania, and it's going to be a crazy little robot. I think it has a lot of chance to win it all. There goes both the Rippers for Emergency, by the way. It has no weapons left. Emergency is just a sitting duck at this point, while Spyder is just doing what it can. I think Spyder has already won this fight, in my opinion. Spyder pushes up against Emergency, and Emergency's trying to... I don't even know what Emergency should do. It has to use the hazards at this point. This is a 5-minute fight, by the way, so Emergency has lost it within his weapons within the first 2 minutes of the fight, which is not a good sign for Emergency. Emergency's mounted up on top of Spyder, and now it looks like it's smoking a little bit. And it gets flipped up close to the spinner. It's close to the spinner, it gets pushed up against the spinner and flipped by Spyder all in one motion. Oh, Emergency, what is happening to you, baby? Spyder is in complete control right now. Emergency pushes Spyder up against the wall, so it's kind of just holding it right now, so it needs to milk a little bit of this time, think about what it can do. Backs up, here we go. Emergency's trying, there goes one of its defensive protectors right there. And Emergency's getting flipped. There's a lot of damage on Emergency. Oh, here we go. What's gonna happen next? The next movement determines it all. Emergency is knocked out, just like that. Spyder wins. I wouldn't call it an upset, but statistically it's an upset. A 7 defeats a 2, and just like that, Emergency loses to Spyder by KO. There, as you can see, the first flipper of Emergency falling off, and I think the second one follows right there. And from there, it was all the Spyder. Spyder was in complete control of this whole entire fight, in my opinion. And Emergency was just trying to stay alive, getting hit from underneath, the side, on top, wherever it may be. It was losing the entire fight. And right here was one of the final blows by Spyder that did a lot of damage to Emergency and sealed its spot in the victory.